So, how do you prepare your rabbits for winter? Hi everybody, thanks so much for stopping by the homestead. My name is Sarah from Traditions Homestead. And over the last week or so, people are starting to get worried about winter, and they're starting to ask questions about how do we prepare our rabbits for winter. Well, let me remind you that rabbits are much more comfortable in the winter than in the summer. They have a fur coat on, and that keeps them warm. The summertime is really what is the most stressful for them. But there are a few things that I want to talk about for preparing for winter, and how you can continue to use rabbit tractors over the winter. Kevin is working on some modifications today that we're making to our rabbit tractors in anticipation of a big cold front coming through actually tonight. So I'm going to show you those things and go over some of the other ways that we're preparing all of our rabbits for winter. Now, one thing I want to talk about is water. Now, obviously in the winter and in the very cold parts of the winter, your rabbit waterers can freeze. There are many things that you can do to prevent that. There are heated water bottles. There are heated crocks that you can use. You can have a second set of water bottles and then just switch them out a couple times a day. The solution that we are going with this winter is there are rubber water pans, water tubs, I guess you would say, and we have those on order. That's what we're going to be using. I've read a lot of reviews. I've asked in a couple homesteading groups what are the best things to do or best things to use, and overall most people are going with these kind of durable rubber totes that if they freeze solid, you can just step on the bottom and the ice pops out. And then when you're out there checking on your rabbits and giving them fresh water, all you need to do is have some warm water out there with you, or just regular water, I guess, if you can just stomp on these rubber bowls and the ice pops out. So that's the solution that we're going to use this year, both in our tractors and in our cages. Now, the biggest concern for rabbits is just to keep them dry and keep them out of the wind. They can pretty much handle all of the winter as long as those two conditions are met. So think about the rabbit cages that you have, and how can you accomplish that? If they're in a building covered on at least 3 sides, they're going to be pretty good. In our cages that are in our barn, it's a 3-sided barn, and they'll have pretty much protection from all moisture and most of the wind. We will, on the very, very coldest parts of the winter, we will give them either hay or straw to put on the bottom so that they can get out of the wind and they have something nice and warm to lay on. In our rabbit tractors, we will not be doing the hay or straw until the winter is very, very cold. We are housing these guys, these litters together. They can snuggle up with one another to keep warm. But like I said, on the very, very coldest days and nights, we'll put a layer of either hay or straw down on the bottom so that they can get up off the ground and they can just keep warm. Just another layer of warmth there. But we're going to check out the design modifications to our tractors that Kevin is working on, and that we think will be amazing protection over the winter, but we also think it will give added protection against predators. We have not had a lot of problems with predators in our rabbit tractors. In fact, we've only had one rabbit ever get injured and killed by some kind of predator. And that rabbit was part of a litter that had just recently been weaned. It was pretty small, and I think it just didn't know what to do to protect itself and get out of the way. But the modifications that we've done for the winter will be added predator protection, especially if the predators during winter have less and less to eat. They may be more and more daring and come out of the woods and be more daring to try to get at our rabbits. So we'll show you that too. So I'm excited for you guys to see what Kevin's working on and how we are modifying these tractors.
So when I designed these tractors, I designed them, well, first of all, when we lived in Arizona, where it's a completely different climate than it is here in Missouri, they're designed to be very effective in the summer heat. They have a lot of shade and they have a lot of good airflow. The problem is in the winter when it gets really cold, like it's supposed to starting tonight. Tonight we're supposed to get down into the 20s. You don't really want all of that airflow. You want the rabbits to have a spot to be able to get away, out of the wind. As long as they are out of the wind and out of any moisture, they're going to be fine. So what I'm doing today is I'm putting in a divider that'll start right where the metal ends here on the sides and run across and just make a little enclosed area for them that will be a windbreak. Rabbits do really well in the cold weather as long as they stay dry and they can get out of the wind. The actual temperature isn't going to bother them. So that's what I'm working on right now. Got a couple done already. We've got 3 more to go. So trying to get this done because the high today is 80. They said at 2 o'clock it's supposed to be 80 degrees, and by 4 o'clock it's supposed to be 48 degrees. So there's something happening between 2 and 4, and I need to get this done. So I'm going to get back to work. So right in the middle I've cut a hole. I've only made this 6 inches wide by 6 inches tall, which is plenty big for a rabbit, really regardless of what size the rabbit is. Remember, the goal here is to give them as much area as you can to get out of the wind. So you don't want a hole that's too big or the wind will just blow right through. So 6 inch by 6 inch is fine, and they'll be able to get in here and snuggle close together. So now that I have the divider on the inside, the only thing left to do is I'm going to attach some wood here on the outside on the back, again to help keep the wind out. I'll take this metal off just a little bit so the wood can go up underneath it, which will keep it nice and snug, and then we should have no problem at all with them being nice and tight and warm inside.
Well, we're all finished with the rabbit tractors, the modifications that will get them ready for the winter, and I'm really pleased with how they turned out. Let's open it up and so you can see what is going on in there. Now, every rabbit of this tractor except for one is inside the new enclosed area, so obviously they feel pretty safe. So let's take a look inside. This is going to work out fantastically. They are going to feel very safe in there. They're going to be warm. They're going to feel secure from predators. And, this modification is going to suit us very well. One thing that I want to touch on just briefly again is, these rabbits are going to keep warm by their fur, and they're also going to snuggle together. I'm not going to use hay for, 3 reasons. 1, because they can keep themselves warm with their fur and snuggling up. Number 2, it is an extra cost that I really don't want to have over the winter. And number 3, when I have the straw or hay in there, it's fine if they eat some of it, but they're also going to go to the bathroom on it. That is just going to contribute to a not very healthy environment for them. So as long as I can keep that hay out of there, the better. Now, what happens if it snows? Well, if it snows, they're going to be fine. But we may have to either shovel a new path for them to move to the next space the next day, or we could just bring out the tractor and, just scrape off the snow and move them to the next place and they'll be fine. So there's no reason why they still cannot have fresh place to be every single day. No reason why they can't grow up in these litters and have a happy, healthy life. So you guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope that this video has put your mind at ease about raising rabbits in the winter, how to protect them. So you guys, I hope this video has answered some of your questions. I hope it has given you some relief and you don't have to worry about your rabbits in the winter anymore. And I hope that we've given you some ideas of how you can modify your rabbit tractors and have the confidence to continue raising them, continue breeding over the winter, and raise them on the ground. They love it and they have such a great time in these rabbit tractors. If you have any comments or questions about this, you know I like hearing from you guys and I like to answer those questions. If you have not, or you can comment below. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below. We do a lot of things on our homestead aside from rabbits. We love our rabbits, but we do a ton of fun things and we have a lot of things in store over the winter, in the spring, next summer, and you don't want to miss it, okay? Before you go, give me a thumbs up if you like this, and thanks so much for stopping by the homestead. You guys take care and God bless.